Greeting, kitcheners of my universe and white nerdy. Oh, and let me tell you, I've done something a little exciting before I started doing this. Oh man, I actually went to this very weird place. It's almost like a Bed Bath & Beyond until I noticed a Far Beyond. And I went back there and there was a bunch of crazy people selling things. Bunch of weird people that you have never seen before. But this old woman kept pulling me closer into her place, and she was selling these weird stuffed animals, a bunch of shapes and varieties. But one really stood out to me. I bought this pizza. It's a cute little thing, isn't it? Although she warned me, she said something about basically doing this to its face too many times would have my viewers peer into an alternate universe where basically they would view an alternate version of me that may or may not be a parody of a YouTuber. I mean, but come on, would that ever happen? I mean, look at the cute little guy. Don't you just want to squish his face? What's the worst that could happen? You know, in my lifetime, and especially reviewing movies and other bullcrap that I have done over the years, you would think that I would have probably stopped upon finding the most shittiest of adaptations. But nope, we keep continuing to go down the rabbit hole, and we just gotta dig deeper. I reviewed a lot of shitty video game type of movies, from like King of Fighters, Dead or Alive. I even reviewed a couple of Uwe movies with some companions. But the top of the crop probably for most people would think of like somebody like Uwe Ball, who just doesn't understand video games. The problem is when people out there try to think that they understand a video game or gamers, they don't. Sure, there are some good video game adaptations out there, but unfortunately they're so few and far in between that the only basically best examples are probably Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Ready Player One, and the Wreck-It Ralph films from Disney. So it makes no sense why pretty much Hollywood would keep trying to revamp this. And don't even get me fucking started on the Resident Evil bullshit because we're not talking about that here. No, and I refuse to. Because basically all everybody would be like, oh, remember the Resident Evil series when they were so scary and when that jug jumped through the window? I knew he jumped a little fudge in my pants. Well, fuck you. We're not doing that here. Instead, I've got something better for it. Coming from the minds of Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy. Ready? Free Guy. This is an adaptation that basically would combine gaming and the YouTube gaming culture, since there's some big YouTube gamers in this one, such as like Jacksepticeye, I Has Cupcake, Ninja, and some other notable names. But what really takes the cake here is the fact that this tried to be, well, a movie about gaming culture. But it fails really hard at getting to that point. So, you know, like one of the best video game adaptations I reviewed was with Tekken with Film Brain? Yeah, prepare for this not to be an unexpected hidden gem. Nope, this is a pile of trash and it deserves to be treated as such. What do I mean? Well, get ready, folks. We're gonna be here for a while. So let's dive into Free Guy and see how people that think that they know video games manage to fuck it up. We open up upon a video game world, which is known as Free World. Basically, think of like Grand Theft Auto Online, but except much bigger, and this is a part of the movie. When we're introduced to a normal man named just Guy, played by Ryan Reynolds. Guy just so happens to be giving it a good life, except that he's kind of upset that he's nothing but a background character. And after so many years of being a background character, he finally asks his buddy, yes that's his name, if this all is a purpose or are we meant for something bigger in life. As while walking back to his place of establishment, or a restart point if you will, Guy believes that he sees his love of his life just so happened to walk by him. This woman's name actually is Nikki, and she is looking for something deep hidden within the game, something that she believed was stolen from her and her partner Nick. More on that later. Anyways, Guy believes that his life had it started just anew, but he's still bored of the same old, same old. So today, he attempts to try something very different. Yup, you just saw that right. Guy went against his code, went against his everything, his coding matrix, and just upright and killed a motherfucker. Okay, granted, I have a degree in computer science. I thought that was going to be the way to the future, but no, instead, it would be ending up worthless, and I wouldn't end up doing anything with it. It just proved no point. So I might be talking out of my ass here, but correct me if I'm wrong. And the movie has a bullshit way of explaining this. But correct me if I'm wrong, a background character, an NPC of any video game cannot just change whatever action that they have. They have basically their central programming that they always follow. Either walking a straight line, talking to somebody, pulling a different action, it's just paired to point. So they're trying to say that in this game, of this age, of this capacity, the change is possible. To this person that decided to write this shitty piece of shit, I say upon thee that you have went officially further than I thought that you went. This person has officially went beyond Thunderdome. Oh! I cannot be stopped, baby! I will run that joke into the ground! Suck it! Woo! I will never be sick and tired of that gag! But as it turns out, these special sunglasses are kind of like the sunglasses from John Carpenter's They Live. They allow the person to see the world for what it really is instead of what the NPCs think it is. Never mind that, meet Millie and Walter, the two people that created a game that was called Real Life, or For Life, and thus they decided to launch this career game. But unfortunately, when they launched the game For Life, they ended up getting the project stolen from them. They didn't end up finding it, and they don't know what actually ended up happening to the finished product. Because as it actually turns out, their boss actually stole the programming of For Life and actually used it for Free World, and thus that means that he is the evil creator and stealer. In fact, this douchebag is so stereotypical evil that he tells them, I am not going to give back your creation, because if you ever want it back, I will destroy it right in front of you. This is not how video games work. You just can't take a project, steal it, rewrite code around it, and then still have a character from the old game still being in the new game. Oh, sure, games can have noteworthy similarities, like one game can actually look a lot like another game or have a soundtrack or sound effect from another game. This is proven true because video games have been around for so long that sometimes they end up borrowing something from what another did. But if you're trying to tell me that this person creatively rewrote the entire code of one of these video games and end up turning it into another game, and all the other characters have no fucking clue what's going on, you're telling me that you expect me to believe that Guy is the only character who notices that something is different because his code is different because they've written these characters from this video game to become sentient, which means that their code ends up smarter. There is a word I can use for people like that, but I think it'd be best summed up like this. So because Guy's code is so advanced, Maddie wants to hang out with him to try and figure out what is going on behind the scenes, and if they can really take down the big corporation behind everything. Which Guy doesn't believe anything at first until he ventures out into the borders of the game itself and actually finds out that yes, there is another game that exists within the video game.
I'm sorry, I literally have no idea what you're talking about.
I've stopped trying to make sense of this shit, so I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Anyways, he goes back to Maddie and tells her the good news that he had figured out that there was a world outside the world. Maddie looks through the code, and she finds out that yes, this is true. There is another video game within this video game. But unfortunately for Maddie, she ends up losing it because of a hard reboot. And because of this hard reboot, Guy reboots himself and remembers absolutely dick fucking diddly and doesn't believe about anything that he has seen anymore. And so that means that Maddie had to kidnap him to show him the truth yet again, and then his advanced technology basically makes him adapt to this a lot quicker. I don't fucking know. And because Guy still doesn't fucking know anything, she decides to have the true love take a stand, and after she kisses Guy, he remembers everything.
What the fuck is happening here?
So after that bullshit upon bullshit happens, they basically end up saying that they're gonna gather up all the NPCs to make them fight back against the controller. And so now it's video game world versus real world, as the real world tries to intervene with the video game world by throwing them every obstacle in the way, including the most powerful one.
Catchphrase. What?
And so it's Guy versus Dude, the ultimate being. And also they throw in obligatory references because they just felt lazy, I guess.
What the shit?
So after that, the real world starts destroying the video game world, as everything starts collapsing, people start disappearing, as only Guy is the person enough to save it. So Guy, realizing his destiny as the video game world is being destroyed, he runs into the distance to see if he can spot where Free World first started. As I'm not even shitting you, he ends up finding for real. He ends up finding the code that was deep inside the video game, which proved Walter's and Maddie's point. And so all well ends well. Walter and Maddie get back together, their game is made into big financial business, and thus everybody seems to be at happy end. So they decided to reference for Free World with real life and end up calling it Free Life, as they end up merging the two video games together, ending our story. I hate video games now. This is the reason why I hate video games right now. This is the worst excuse for trying to attempt a video game movie. Oh my god! When you realize that Ready Player One, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and also Wreck-It Ralph are the best video game adaptation movies, you know you done fucked up. I don't know what's more troubling, the fact that Ryan Reynolds' credit and career gets bigger when he teamed up with Sean Levy again to do Deadpool and Wolverine, or the fact that this piece of shit was made. I don't know. But, as always, it's always said by most of my other critics here on YouTube that sometimes the director must make a bad movie, and this is probably true. But this is the worst piece of shit I think I ever did see. I'd rather watch Dead or Alive again. I'd rather go watch the King of Fighters adaptation again. I would rather be stuck and nailed into a chair to review Dragon Ball Evolution, for God's sakes. Well, I guess it can't get all bad from here, right? It's not like that they made any more really bad adaptations of video games in recent times. I mean, what's next? They're gonna make a live-action Assassin's Creed adaptation, which is gonna be one of the worst pieces of shit ever made. That would never happen. And if anybody sends that to me, I will stab you in the brain! But I think that's feel for my dear time, my dear viewers. So come back next time and join me on another adventure here at the Lazy Experiment, as we have some bigger and brand new ideas coming at you pretty soon, as I cannot wait to kick this thing off. It's so cute to squeeze his face. Why do I get the sensation that something happened that I'm not aware of? You're not the cause of it, are you? Why are you guys looking at me like that? I don't know what you guys are talking about. There is no lazy experiment here that has been done. You guys have all done something that I'm not aware of? Get a hold of a bad piece of pizza? Drank something that you weren't supposed to? I don't know what you guys are talking about. There is no lazy experiment here. So, thank you guys so much so much for watching. I believe you never type what nudie keep on. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon to be notified every single time I make an upload, and follow me on Twitter in the description down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I believe you never type what nudie keep on. And until next time, take care. Oh, and before I forget, happy April Fool's Day.